Hi, welcome to the video tutorial for the County Natural Increase Graph assignment. If you're finding this tutorial, you should already be on this page, and hopefully you've already read the introduction and the directions. In the introduction, it's explaining to you what natural increase is. So every year the population is going up with births, but there's also deaths that are taking it back down or evening it out a little bit. So what natural increase is, as you can see from this equation, is you take your birth rate and you subtract the death rate. You take your number of births in a place, and if you take out the number of deaths, that's how many new people you're adding to your population number every year. And that's not including migration, as it talks about there. That also will change the population. But this is why it's called the natural increase, is in terms of just birth and death, very natural things. How is the population changing? So hopefully you've read all the directions first. And you'll see that one says to open the worksheet My County Data. And so we can do that. And it's going to ask you if you want to make a copy, and you'll need to say, yes, make a copy. So this is going to be your own. If you're doing this at home, you're going to have to make sure that you're signed into your Google account. You should probably sign into your 444 at Granite SD if you're doing this at home and not at school. Okay, so then you have this information here, and you probably don't know how to fill it out yet, and that's what I am going to show you. So then it says open. We're going back to Canvas to read the next direction. Open the births and deaths by county or use the copy below. Because you can see it's down here, and you can hit this pop out, and that'll also open a copy of it. That'll be a bit bigger so that you can zoom in on it if you need to. So what you're going to do first is choose a county that you want to do. You could choose a county with a lot of people, like Salt Lake, or you could choose a county with a little bit of people, like Daggett, or at least births, but the births kind of reflect the population. I'm going to choose Emory. And so that I don't have to go back and forth between this chart and my chart, I'm just going to write down all of the births and deaths on a scrap piece of paper and transfer it over. So I see that 2010 is 171, and then 179, 178, 155, 134, 138, 138, and 106. Okay, I've got all the births. Now I'm going to scroll down to the next page where I have the deaths. There's Emory, and I'm going to write down 99, 80, 82, 88, 107, 77, 90, and 109. So you see just here on a random piece of paper, I've written the data, and that's so that I can come here to my copy of my county's demographics, and we're going to be here basically for the rest of the time. So you can even close the PDF if you want to, if you have that information. First thing I need to do is say what county I'm looking at. So I'm going to erase enter county name here and type in Emory. And one thing to know with Google Sheets is that you're always typing up here in the formula bar. So if ever you have to do erasing, it's better to not try to erase it here. See, it's trying to drag it, but to select it up here in the formula bar. Okay, so I'm doing Emory, and then I have my births, 171, for example. But if you notice, the natural increase, we didn't have a chart for that, and right now it's saying it's 0. That's because it's already set up to subtract your deaths from your births. It already has an equation for it to do births minus deaths. So watch this. I put in my births, and now it says, okay, great, 171, because it's saying there's no deaths. But we wrote down that there were actually 99 deaths this year. Now watch this magic. Watch what happens to this number. There's your subtraction. And you know 171 minus 99 is 72 because this rounds to 100. So you know that it's subtracting. Okay, so now I can put in the rest of my numbers. And my deaths. And you can watch the subtraction. Great. Okay, now what you're going to do from this is make a chart. And Google Sheets makes it really easy, or not a chart, but a graph. Google Sheets makes it really easy because they will graph it for you. So here's what you have to do. You select up here in the 3A box and you drag so that your chart is highlighted. Okay, and you'll know because there's a blue ring around it. Just your chart information, but including your titles like births, deaths, and natural increase. Then, this is your magic button right here, this one that says Insert Chart, or you can also go Insert and Chart right there. But I just like clicking the button. If it wants to load. There it is, I found it. Okay. So if you notice, it is now calculating, it has the births here. And we've looked at this before that the births went down, then they went up a little bit, and then they went down. And here you can see the deaths. People were not dying as much, and then suddenly there's a lot of deaths in 2014. That makes me wonder what happened. Maybe there was like a disease outbreak or something. And then a few less deaths, and now it's going back up to the point where in 2017, just 2 years ago, more people died in Emory than were born. So what it does is right here, can you read these words? It says drag size and drop chart below here. So I'm going to drag my chart. I can close my chart editor so that it fits. So this way I can see my data, my chart. I'm actually going to squeeze it over a little bit more. Maybe shrink it. I don't know. So then you can see that you have these things that you're going to answer, which is often greater, your births or your deaths. And to look at that for Emory, and probably for yours too, you're looking at where's your blue line? Is it higher than or lower than your red line? And so for mine, I can see, well, births for sure, because we have a lot more births. You can also figure that out just looking at these numbers. 171 is greater than 99. Is your natural increase, so we're looking at our yellow line, is it often going up or is it going down? So let me look. Here it goes up and then down and then down, up but then down and down. So I'd say it's often going down for mine. I guess I can answer this one too. Is there a year when your natural increase is negative? Now that you could see one of two ways. If I'm looking at my graph here, here's 0, here's negative 50. It's where I peak below there. But also we have our data right there that shows us. So I can say, yes, it was negative. Yes, natural increase was negative in 2017. And yours might be no, and that's okay, because it just means that we are having a lot of growth. What did you find surprising or interesting about your county's data? Well, what I found interesting was the spike in deaths in 2014, personally. I thought the spike in deaths in 2014 was interesting. Was there a disease? And then last, what's one thing you've learned about the current population or demographics of Utah? And that could be from this class or from last class, because that's our objective, is we're trying to look at current demographic trends. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to make sure my name's in this. Now I'm going to come back to my assignment because I finished it in only 10 minutes too. In 10 minutes, I've finished this whole assignment. I'm going to connect to my Google Drive. It might already be connected. Oh, just kidding. It doesn't want me to do that when I'm a student. But you can connect to your Google Drive, and then what you're going to do is upload this document. And you know what? I can probably do it like this to show you guys. You can also do this. Download as an Excel sheet. And then go to your file uploads. Choose a file. Make sure you find your downloads. Yours will look different on a Chromebook. And then my county's demographics. Submit assignment. And you're done. Here's the submission details. You can see what got submitted. You can download it again. Or you guys can, special treat, I'll show you how. If I can leave student view. How I can see when you have your submission, what it looks like to me. So I can see it goes from one page to the other. But I can see the answers here. And then they bleed onto, your graph bleeds onto the next page. And that's how I can know that you finished the assignment. Then I can grade it and give you a 4. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. I can help you. Hopefully, if this video showed you anything, it's that it should be a pretty quick assignment. I just think maybe the using Google Sheets is the difficult part, so that's why I wanted to make a video for if you're having to do this at home or you forgot the instructions and you need to do this as makeup. Okay,